record. All right. Before I share my screen, I also, just in case, I did send an email out. Here is the link for the exhibition. I have a different website now, so um, it was easier and different than before. So that was nice. But I think, is there anybody this is their first time doing call and response?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't done it before.
Okay, a couple people. Okay. Most everybody's done it. And this is like round, what did we figure, 18 or 19?
Okay.
So a lot of people, Dallas has done most of them, I think. I know Adiola, I think, has done all of them. And yeah. So I have, and I'll put these links in chat also. And well, first, I guess I should welcome everybody since it's being recorded. Um, I'm Christine Shoemaker. Nice to see everybody here who I haven't seen in a little while, and nice to meet you if you're new to call and response. What happened was like I needed to take a break from it. It was like it was great during the pandemic. It kept all of us going. It was community and connection. And then things started getting busy. And then I had kidney cancer a couple years ago that I had to deal with and just life, life. And so I had to, take a break from it. And so then we have this feminist image group show that is up right now at Shoebox, and Stacy Berkey Green was here, and for the opening reception, and Adiola was here, and Adiola's done, I think, like I said, every single call and response, and they had been partnered up, but they had never met each other in person. And so they actually met in person for the first time, and it was so cool. It was just like it was lovely. And so I'm like, okay, we need to bring it back. And then I thought, well, okay, the Feminist Image Group show is up for March, which is Women's History Month. And also with everything going on in the world, I'm like, okay, this is the perfect chance to just like do a quick one. I mean, not a quick one, but throw it up quick, get, people to sign up and do like Women Resist. And so I thought that was perfect. Um, and now, of course, I'm going to keep going. And did I put this in chat? Or maybe not. Or now I can't remember. I'll put this in chat, but it is open. Our next one is open. So ow, I just bit my tongue. It's called Changing the Climate. So, I'm starting to do some that are, based on what's going on in our world today. The one after that is going to be with A. Laura Brody and Opulent Mobility. So it's going to be about disability. We're trying to come up with a title. So I was just thinking maybe we should just call it Opulent Mobility, but I don't know if people will know what that is. So, but that'll be the one in let's see. So the next one's in April, which Earth Day is April 22nd, so it's perfect. And so the other one, the Opulent Mobility one, will be in May, which is perfect because they have a show at the Brand Library in Glendale here. So it's like perfect timing. I can help promote the show for them. And hey, there's Adiola. Speaking of the devil or the fox. But yeah, so I also, let me see. So yes, the link is in chat to sign up for the next call and response. I also put a link for Shoebox. And also I have an artist survey that's out right now. If you haven't seen it, it's the last link there. Um, it's, asking, I'm trying to take the pulse of how artists are feeling today, what they need, and, stuff like that. So check out the survey if it's something, that you like, nothing is required, so you can answer whatever questions you want. But I'm going to close it in the next couple of days, probably. So take a look at that. Um, if I also like call and response is about community and bringing people together and networking and of course collaboration. And I do this for all of my workshops and all of my talks and where, share your information in chat, share where you're from, your website, your Instagram, so everybody can follow each other. And, you can add more followers, you can, see more art, learn what everybody's doing, and all of that. So um, And then so I wanted to get into the so if you saw the exhibition, if you've done it before, you've noticed it's a little different. And I, I'm always like I don't know what the best way to say that is. I always, try and overdo things, and I always overdo things. Not try, I always overdo things, or I always take on too much. And so when I started putting the exhibition together on the new website, which before it was on WordPress, which was a pain in the butt. Let me tell you, it took me forever to upload images, upload video, and then it wouldn't show. And so I'm on Wix now, and Wix was a joy. It was just lovely to add the images. And as I added them, I liked the simplified, clean version of it, and I liked it as like an art show in itself. And so I decided to leave it that way. So there isn't much text except for the names at the top of the two people who collaborated, because I also thought, that helps the art stand out. And especially when what we're focusing on with uh with what's going on in the world today. It's like I wanted the art to stand out too. And then of course the artist talk, you can talk about it and all of that.
I
So
need to interrupt you, Christine,
yeah,
because both for April and I was partnered with April Bermudez, and I believe that for me, for sure, the titles are incredibly important. Now, that's up to you whether you choose to display them or not. But I think a lot of artists work. This was a particularly word heavy for me in the sense of whether it was presented in the art or not. So just a consideration to think maybe they want to be captioned. I don't know. It's worth thinking about though.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Most people don't include titles. So there's only, there's very few, but yeah, thank you. I'll definitely keep that in mind moving forward. So Um, but with that, what I will do is I'm going to share my screen. And I know Lisa's here, and you had sent me a statement, Lisa, to read, but I think Amy Bauer sent me one too. So since you're here, I don't know if you want to talk.
Yeah, I can read both of our statements if that's
Oh,
okay.
okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I know Jeannie Davis was going to be here and asked to go at the beginning with Adiola, but I don't see Jeannie here, or Jeannie had emailed me. Um, but how it normally works is I like to have like each artist pair talk to each other, or I mean, talk together, and just take a couple of minutes about your experience. About, we're not going to look at every single piece because we can all do that separately, but about the experience of call and response, what you were feeling, the vibe that you were going for, like, and all of that. So kind of a general overview rather than talking about each individual piece, because we could be here forever for that with all the artwork that was there. So if you want to talk, if one of the partners wants to raise your virtual hand, we can go in order of that, and I'll call on you that way. And let's see, where is there it is. And let me share my screen. All right. Let's see. And if you're just coming on, be sure and put all of your contact information in chat, and so everybody can follow each other. Let me get my list also of who so all right. Let's see. Thought let's see. I thought I had Julie first, and then for some reason Anne showed up ahead above her. But Julie, if you want to go with Susan, go for it.
Hello. This has been a amazing experience, and Susan is a fantastic partner. Um, Go ahead, Susan, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Susan Springer Anderson. I would agree. I very much enjoyed working with Julie, and we got to meet in person I think one of the last things that Christine did, so which was really nice to actually know each other just a little bit to start us.
Um, I started out the round and I was in a place of anxiety. And the pressure of being a woman kind of was looming in my mind. Like right now, we're in such a difficult climate for women. We're facing a lot of challenges. There are doors of opportunity, there are windows of opportunity. There are people to help you. We need to unite together and help each other. So the theme was kind of ever evolving, where it started out with women in the point of stress, evolved into doors and windows of opportunity, the blockages that happen along the way, and how women persevere. This, I think, is an especially beautiful piece. And I don't know, like the different things we face, like this for me was about facing infertility and I guess, the restrictions people place upon women's bodies, people who shouldn't be placing restrictions on women's body, and how women are united to share the knowledge with people who don't know. Susan, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think just also some of the things that we talked about a little bit of just like being in a place of work being difficult for various reasons with lots of distractions. Um, for me, it's been a lot of like fire recovery stuff that I'm part of a community that's doing that. So like even doing my own work right now is really hard for me to focus on because I just feel constantly pulled back into just that world of recovery. And so this was like the blessing and the curse. Like when I realized like, oh my gosh, I have to sit down and make a piece. Like Julie's already sent something to me. I got to respond. But it was really good because it pushed me to do something that was about my own thoughts and my own experience, which again, I think feels very lost in the larger world conversation right now, that it's like hard to even focus on the personal because the world itself feels so just undone in lots of ways. So yeah, I would say it was a really like healthy experience for sure.
I definitely have a life that is in high stress and in chaos. And for me to be able to carve out, in one of these, I only had 20 minutes to throw something together, but to be able to carve out that time to escape the chaos and the pressures of life and just focus on self-care, and focus on something other than something that gives me pleasure and something other than the madness in the world right now.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. It's, I've missed these, and I've missed seeing, I mean, like, the last couple of weeks, seeing all the work posted and, and hearing, because some people have posted about the experience also. Um, I don't know. I think it's important, just it helps us stay in the moment and, and try different things too, try new things that we haven't tried before. So I love that. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Anne and I just had it. Stacy. Let's see where I think you're.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question before they go away?
Sure.
Sorry, because I went to the website to look at the art and tried to look at it bigger, but it's probably me. The piece, the doily, is it stitched or written?
It's written in ink.
I must know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And if anybody, because there's a few hands raised, if anybody has questions for the artist, feel free to unmute and ask. So thank you. Thank you for asking. All right, Anne and Stacy. And also, oh, really fast too, some people have videos or GIFs. Like luckily the GIFs were easy. So thank you, Stacy. Those were great. The videos, they were easy also, but be sure I'm not going to show every video because that'll take forever. But go back and look at the videos because the videos are awesome. So okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first because I went first.
Okay,
And
we can barely hear you, Anne.
oh, okay.
Sounds like something's covering the microphone, maybe?
It probably was. So I'll hold my iPad in my hands and yell at it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go first because I went first. I had a little rough start. I was like trying to find all the Barbie torsos that I collected when I worked at Mattel, but I couldn't find them in time. So I came up with the first piece and then reworked it at the end because I ended up doing haikus for the whole thing, which was new for me. It was, I was a little overzealous in my responses. I would respond right away. So she was like, "Oh, whoa, calm down. Don't go so fast." It's like, okay. But it was really great. Wonderful partner. We just were bouncing off of each other. It was fantastic.
Oh, awesome. Stacy?
I had so much fun this round. I think this, I don't know how many I've done, maybe 10 or 12 or
Yeah,
something,
at
but
least.
yeah, maybe more. I don't know. It's all blurred together, but it was really fun. And yes, Anne was so quick to respond. At one point, I had to say, whoa, I can't go this fast." um, but we really just sort of had this ping pong of ideas back and forth, bouncing off of each other. And I really, really enjoyed it. And for me, everything is just so heavy right now with what's going on in the world. And I wanted to find a way to bring some joy into it while also retaining the gravity of the situation. So that's what I attempted to do. And because I had fun, that tells me I was successful, at least in my own universe with that.
And that's what it's about, right?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Let's see, I'll just finish up.
Yeah, it kind of like devolved into more and more ridiculous as we went along. Finally, just with like, I was like bows over bros, and then we did the oligarchy, and then huge, resistance armies of cats wearing bows. So it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, we are in ridiculousness right now anyway, so awesome. Well, thank you both so much.
These are really, really fun, you guys.
Aren't they?
Thank you.
Love them. Love them.
Yeah.
All right, Sue, and I don't know if Jenny's here or not.
Hi, yeah, no, she's had another engagement and she couldn't be here today. Um, so actually, if you could scroll down to where my original works go, and then I'll explain what happened.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, my third time doing this, and I love it so much. So I came in with the expectation that we would go back and forth on the theme, and it turns out she just did not have time, and she said, "I can commit 20 minutes a day. I can add to a work, but that's about it." So I said, "Great, let's do that. We'll start with the first one that I made, and then we'll go back and forth as many times as you like. And I'm just going to create a new one each time it comes to me in addition to that." So the bottom 7 in that grid are my original works. And they're all sort of portrait orientation. And it was a way for me to explore working with paper sculpture and then scanning those shapes and working digitally with other scanned objects to make these weird mixed media digital collages. And then the back and forth with Jenny, she would just maybe add like a flower stamp using the same color palette. Then she started pulling some shapes from her other works. And it became this really fun game of I Spy where we would tell each other what we added and then see if we could find it. And then, of course, tell each other where it was just in case we couldn't. And then about midway through, I said, what do you want to do? You want to keep going with the eggs one, or you want to switch to this other one that I made called Semicolon? And she said, "Sure, let's switch." So we pretty much just went back and forth with the 2 images. And I guess we both kind of got what we needed from the experience.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yep. When I was putting this one together, you had it numbered perfectly, and that's, it's like, no, nothing's perfect. I love Wix, but like when I uploaded the images, they didn't upload in order. And so most of them were easy to figure out, but yours, I was having to, luckily I could see the numbers. Well, no, I couldn't see the numbers in the behind the scenes. So I had a box open up and I had to go and like move them around. And I'm like looking closely, wait, which one? So it may not be in perfect order, but
right. Yeah, it reminded me of those highlights magazines where you have to find the shoe in the tree.
Yep. Yeah. But and that's the one thing throughout, all of call and response is, artists, there's no perfect way to do this. There's no ideal way. Artists kind of figure it out as they go, and with each partner, with every partner that you have, especially if you've done many of these, it's different, because everybody has a different idea. And that's okay. It helps you think outside the box and think differently, which who knows, may help your art practice, your studio time and stuff like that. So awesome. Well, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. All right, Jade, let's see. Let me find you here. And Annie. Is Annie here?
I don't think I saw Annie.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Oh, I see Jeannie.
Yes.
Jeannie, I know you need to go. Did you want to go next?
Yeah, I'd love to, if that's okay.
Okay. After Jade.
Okay. No, I can go after.
Are you sure?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get in. I just it just was not functioning, and then finally it's like, okay, you can chat now. I tried 40 times.
Oh,
anyway,
no.
Yeah, it was so weird, and then all of a sudden, okay, now it's working. Anyway, yeah, I loved working with Adiola. She just did an amazing job, just fabulous work, just absolutely beautiful. And I just, didn't really write formal poems this time. I just wrote things that sort of came into my head from things that I was seeing or things that I was feeling in the world. And so that was kind of how that went. And I picked out a photo that I'd taken. I was looking for shots that I thought would fit. And, Adiola's work was just amazing. The things that she did. Like that video that you're scrolling past now is just absolutely gorgeous. And, she did so much with that. So most of the time I just kind of riffed off of whatever she did next. But when I first started off, I just, started with a picture that I'd taken out of the dying mall window near me that I was walking in when it was pouring rain one night. And it just we kind of took it from there. And so the colors kind of mutated from there too. I started off with like a lot of golds and oranges. And so, Adiola picked it up and just did a beautiful job, just gorgeous work.
Awesome. Thank you. Have you been paired together before?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had, but I was wondering, I was curious to see if anybody else who participated had been paired with their partner before too. I couldn't, I don't remember. It's been a while, but.
Yeah, no, never had before, but it just a joy to work with her. She's amazing.
Oh, good.
Yo, Jenny.
Go ahead, Adiola.
Oh, well, being paired with Jeannie at first was like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. But each time that she sent the prose, they're very engaging and very enlightening and real deep. So then I would read it several times and kind of process it. And because there's so many directions you could go with some of them. And like, okay, which one? So one of my biggest dilemmas is deciding which way to go, when I want to, pick one. And sometimes I'm able to add different parts of that poem, and sometimes one thing really stood out, and then I just go with that. Like this one and the last one, which was about the joy, and we are in a time that's really heavy with everything that's going on, and we have to find a way to have joy. And one of the things she wrote was hopes and joy poems, and I said, well, this one here. So it was easy. So I had the piece that I did where she was yelling out joy from the mouth. I don't know if it's visible, but if you look close, with her mouth wide open, it says joy, and it felt great. So I took that image and manipulated it, and expand on the joy and lady claimed that joy is going to be my weapon, during this trying time, because we have to find a way to find joy, and not let everything really pushes us down and bog us down, that we become really hopeless, and we become helpless and not able to, activate things that we do. But if we can find that joy might propel us to activate and go into actions and do things that will bring change to what we're currently feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you both so much. A lovely, lovely conversation.
Thank you, Jeannie. It was wonderful, working with her and looking at the photos, inspiring. Sometimes I implement the photo with my work. You kind of collage them together. Sometimes I take part of the prose and add a little bit of mine to it. And I'm not a poet or prose writer, but when I find one or two things that really stood out, I jump on that and use that in creating. So I did a combinations of JPEGs and some video clips of but everything is really looking at what Gina sent me and try to dissect it and find um, areas of to jump off and create the response to.
Awesome. Awesome.
Loved working with you. Yeah, just beautiful, wonderful experience. Just seeing what you did was inspiring, really beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. At the beginning, and I was happy that she put you to start first, because I think I was like, oh, how do I start these? And they're like, oh, I'm going to start these. So that bring down the level of assignment, So then it was like, now that I got one, it's like, what do I do? What do I do? So, but once I got into it, it was easy. I do want to say one of these here is out of order. So, something you might look at later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look at what came in and stuff. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, and thank you for taking me in. I'm so sorry I couldn't get on and can't stay longer. So
I have problem too. That's why I have to end up on my phone. Like Monica was saying, I was trying to get on my iPad and it still won't load. It keep telling me. I tried direct link. I tried to write down the the Zoom numbers to do it manually, and it will not load on my iPad. So then I said, okay, let me try phone, because I like to leave the phone open just in case I get a call so I don't lose. But I end up getting on my phone, not on my iPad. I don't know why. So
yeah, it just took me a while. I couldn't get to work on phone or computer, but then all of a sudden I just let me in. So I don't think it was me. I thought it was me I thought, okay, what have I done? Because it updated and it just didn't. It was in the middle of an update, I think, is what happened this morning. Okay. But anyway, thank you guys so much. And I just love the experience. And I have looked through everybody's work, and I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. So thank you.
Sorry, I had a loud knock at my door.
Yeah. Thank you. And I look forward to the next one. I've done every one of your call and response. So, I have to keep going.
Yay. I'm enjoying the themes too. I think the themes are going to be fun.
They're
Yes.
wonderful.
and powerful.
They're wonderful.
All right. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. I'm saying bye, but I loved looking at everybody's work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right, Jade and Annie, or Jade.
Yeah, Annie doesn't look like Annie is on. So I've never done a call and response before. So this was the first time. Part of why I joined, and I think part of just like with the world and goes along with the theme, is that it has been hard for me personally to like make time, for like doing stuff for yourself, which for me has art has been some of it. And it was hard, honestly, to make time. So some of them are shorter times than others, but it was really great, and I hope I like can able to keep doing that. And I signed up for the next one. But in terms of like theme wise, Annie started it, and I think we both kind of leaned into the more what kind of along with what I just said of more of like the resist on your within yourself on your own side, and like how we kind of like connect with the world like as women and in general just with what's going on. And I know I did a few type of things that I don't really use of mediums, and I know Annie said she doesn't usually write, and she has one written piece. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. I haven't done one before, but I thought it was really great. She lives really close to where I used to live, until like about a year and a half ago. So she's near some areas that I regularly visit. So hopefully I can meet up with her at some point and say hi.
Oh,
But I really
awesome.
liked looking at the variety from everyone's. I thought it was really great.
Oh, that's so cool. That's definitely the one thing about call and response. It's like, I didn't participate this time. I was going to, and my partner thought it started the next week, and she wasn't available, so it didn't work out, but that's okay. Um, I mean, sometimes like somebody would send me something and I'd have an idea like that, and it would just be a photo, and it would be a minute to take a photo and then send it back. So, I mean, you never know. It's like,
Hmm.
you don't have to respond in any particular medium. It's just kind of it's about like thinking outside the box and just being free to think and also taking that time for yourself, which I love that when we talk about that. And that is women resisting, like
Hmm.
taking time for ourselves, right?
Yeah, it's hard to do that, but I did try to think of it very much as like okay, don't worry too much about what it
Yep,
is, just make sure you like are doing it and having like the conversation in the art. So I thought it was really great
exactly.
practice. So thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. I used to always say, and I still believe it, the end, it's not, I mean, yes, it's cool to see the art come together. But for me, it was always about the process. That was the art, the process of collaborating, of going back and forth, how you feel like while you're doing it. I mean, seeing the art together, in a grouping is really cool, but it's all about the process. It's kind of a performance for 2 weeks with somebody else, and and actually it's funny, that was all my art. Oops, I think I skipped forward. But
I think it just continued into
oh,
the
it
next.
did. It did. But yeah, but no, I'm so glad you liked it, and I'm
I
so glad
love
you
that
signed up.
one. I love that one. This is
Is
Kelly.
that
I'm
Ellen
Kelly.
and Kelly together?
Yes, yes,
Yay!
we are new friends.
We're having a party.
We are having a cake party.
Oh, that's
But that
awesome.
I saw that one with the bikini. I love that one. I just had
Oh, I
to yell it.
know. I know. I don't think, oh, Laura's here, but I don't think Beatrice is.
No, B, I know she may have sent you a statement. Kristen, if you wanted to be a time to read that, I didn't get her statement.
Yeah, I'll see. I don't know if I got that or not. I'll look, but we'll let April go, and I'll look while we're letting April go. Let me see. Oops. April and Sandy, and April and Sandy.
So
Oh,
I was going to say, can I go first, April? Hello.
oh, there you go.
You kind of do it.
Okay, I'm going to go first because I've done 3 or 4 of these and I haven't started before, so I was real paranoid. And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know you. I didn't know what kind of collaboration we had, but I think we kind of had an unspoken agreement that we weren't actually going to really talk or introduce ourselves, but we were just going to react, which I loved. I loved what we did. And so I came up with I'm in the middle of a really sort of weird divorce. So I'm in this state of angst and rage. And so I was at the thrift store and I saw this cutesy little figurine. And I had these little coffins I'd made a while back, and I wanted to have words. And so I thought, okay, let's talk about words. And so I made this master list, which you could see there. And we started to go from, mansplaining, misogyny, no pockets, glass ceiling, that kind of stuff. And we started to move through that list. And it was great because I felt we really riffed off each other really well, on being able to do that. And that was exciting for me. And I also I love this opportunity with these because I can actually do some stuff that I don't normally do. I'm a sculptor. So I normally don't do video or stop motion at all. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of that. Um, and so for me, it was fun. It's always fun to make something that way, which is out of the thing. So thanks, April. I really appreciate you playing
I love
with you.
that. I know these are so fun. And start thinking performance, Sandy. And
Yeah.
April is too. So I mean that's perfect also.
Okay, Sandy, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So I had done a few of them myself back in, when we had them. And I had made things more permanent at that time for them. And in this round, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have stuff left over that I needed to store or try to sell, or like I really didn't want that. So you creating this, because you started it. So you did the calls, I did the responses. And your first call being that it was a little vignette, putting these things together, a picture of that. I had a figurine that I thought was very fitting, especially since you said your divorce was impending. So I was like, okay, so off with this head, take that first one, and then your next call, I responded to that, and it was very much, I didn't want anything permanent, and there were times that when we made the exchange, the emails try to keep them minimal. And I did want to say, like, oh, I love how this is going. And I did say something like that, but I didn't want to go further because I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to
Agreed.
mess,
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess with the magic that we seemed to be having. It was collaboration and conversation that we were seeming to
Yes.
speak with to each other without using words. And I really like what we did. I was inspired by this one artist who does kind of like, I swear, like very low production kind of performance art kind of stuff, with like just random objects, everyday objects. So I'll put the link to his Instagram in the chat. Um, but the fact that you were doing that, and I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't say anything, but hearing that you had similar, like, okay, I don't want to say anything either. She seems unspoken, like you said, unspoken,
Right.
to like not say anything about. I was like, okay, perfect, because that's what I wanted. But now that it's done, I can say it was magic. It was magic because I didn't have um I'm fostering a dog right now, and it's a large dog, and it's a whole different world because my small dog has to like, and my cat has to stay like bound forever. They don't get along. So I didn't have a lot of time to do this, and
Right.
came. I didn't think ahead of what I wanted to do next. I waited for your calls to do the response to that call. It
That's
wasn't
really
until
interesting because I wanted to do that as well, because I think that's I had a really bad experience recently with a collaboration, an actual physical collaboration that I was supposed to do, and it did not work. And the other artist and I were ta da 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 da, and we could never come to any kind of real agreement. And I thought, okay, this is perfect for that reason because the same for me. I'm kind of going, oh, there's a color there. Oh, there's a shape of something, and I'm kind of going, no, just chill the jets. Let's see what she comes up with, and yeah, it worked out really well. I was delighted as far as that went, so thank you.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah. I'm
Well,
very happy with it.
I mean, that's my hope is how it kind of should work is that one person starts and the other person responds and then the next responds to that and then you just keep responding to each other. I mean,
Right.
that's what I've done in the past, but I know, like I said, we're artists.
Yeah,
We have, we're rebels. We do our own thing too. So,
pick your poison. I mean,
yep.
that's what's fun about this too, is that you can do literally whatever you want. You can spend, like you said, 2 minutes on a photograph or a little drawing, or hours on something that you really were invested in. It's up to you, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for participating.
Can
Great to
I
have
say
you again.
something?
Oh,
Huh?
Could I say something?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing to hear that you guys did this really on the quick because the messages like stick with you. I mean,
Yep.
I had so much fun watching these. I was like, go. You know?
Thank you.
They're very
Yay.
funny. They're so funny.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Laura, did you want to go next? And I didn't, I checked my email, and she said she was going to send a statement, but she never did. So I don't know if you have it from her.
No,
Oh,
I don't, unfortunately.
okay.
They were as busy as I was, and I'm so grateful everybody has the same common thread that I'm really busy, but you still trudge through.
Yeah.
I was also thinking for myself, what if I have to be the springboard? I have to start this. So I had this archaic article about sex and women. And like from, I want to say the 30s or the 40s, but they were saying things like women's passion is mental, women are naturally frigid. I'm like, well, I'm going to use this as my foundation. So B actually started with this fantastic photograph. And the next one is I fill it in with that crazy article. But at the same time, because we're all talking about it, it's scary for women right now. It's scary for everybody who isn't white Anglo males, Saxon Protestant. So again, I love earlier what was said that I want joy to be my weapon, and I'll let art be my weapon because I'm not as brave as some women and men who want to go out there and protest in person. I'm not there yet. So this was a great forum for it. I love the call and response. I actually made a really good friend on call and response who lives in Ukraine. So we've been communicating
Oh,
on a regular
good.
basis. I think April also talks to Sergey too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
He's
that's awesome.
he's wonderful, and I touch base with him often because of this call and response. The other thing before I close was because time was limited for me, I limited myself to digital work, whereas I mainly do analog with my collage. This is all digital. So that was hard and very, very good for me. I always grow from these calls and responses. I get a big gift aside from the other artwork that these other women are doing. I gained something magnificent. And the other thing too, B and I had was we had a big connection with New York. Oh, and the last picture, the last call, our last call and response, I used an image of Marilyn Monroe because I liked it. And serendipitously enough, she is working on a ballet right now that is based on Marilyn Monroe.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
like it. But yeah, wonderful time. Thank you for organizing this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. B and I were going to do like we were after I finished the last call and response, I had talked to them about doing like our own call and response with movement because I'm like that would help me move more. But we sent a couple videos, but then we both got busy. So, but they're great. I love B. Awesome. Thank you so much. Um, Ellen and Kelly, did you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, come on. Why isn't it? Oh, I know, because I'm not in. There we go. All right.
So Ellen kicked us off in a strong way. I was stoked. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. It couldn't have been a more perfect match. It was like the level of humor and approach. So you can kind of see actually you can really see the conversation we had from Ellen's strong start. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I am a fiber artist, and I had signed up for the call and response at the beginning of the pandemic. And then when I realized that it was make a piece every other day in 24, I was like, I can't do that. I do slow craft. And so I withdrew. And then with one thing and another, I have been not very productive at all in the past few years. And when this came around, I was like, you know what? Just sure. I need something to do, and this will push me to do something. And I wound up just literally winding up, I used colored pencils and stamps and just, I don't know. But having the commitment to somebody else and the prompts pushed me to do things I wouldn't normally do, which I really liked.
And I think what I liked the limitation of 24 hours. I didn't think of anything until I received the prompt. The whole limitation of only what you have on hand. And I had just donated like all these extra supplies, like 2 days before. And so I was like, and I decided to keep some watercolor pencils and some white ink. But yeah, so it was like whatever was happening with the news. And we were having some conversation. It kind of increased, and then we would be checking in on each other. And sometimes we'd be a little late or early. I think at one point I hadn't heard anything and I got worried about my friend.
Right. And I think I sent it, but computers, it didn't go or something.
I thought maybe she got rounded up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
in a camp.
We were going pretty hard with
Tesla.
The current politics. And so I don't know if I'm gonna take my phone on vacation when I go out of the country, because I don't want them to download this particular art conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually was interesting for me in terms of materials, because aside from the fact that I generally just stitch, not just, I generally stitch. I was not living at home. I was actually dog sitting for most of this experience. And so I would come home and just like grab random art supplies and bring them back and be like, I don't know what I'm going to get today. I might have gotten it. I think also sometimes like I'd get it at 6 p.m. and kind of think about it overnight.
Yeah.
And then work on it the next day. So I did actually like get it, think about it, come home, get a few specific things that I knew I wanted, go back to the dog, and then like work from 4 to 6 and then get it to you.
And that's what was neat too, is that in such a time crunch, you had to come up with a strong concept, because I was accountable to her. I wanted it to be strong. I wanted to meet her images and her concepts. But then like to commit, and then it was possible to actually create something in that time crunch with whatever I had at hand was really, really cool to know that that's possible. Even though life was busy, like I had so much life happening and I was still able to execute.
Yeah.
It was very empowering. So
that's awesome.
And then I just,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wanted just to like, I just wanted to go like from each image, like of what I think connected them, the conversation. So it started with the Sig Heil, and then we started focusing on Elon.
And I just want to say, because it's so tiny, but if you can't see it, the quotation, it's from like an interview in a Rolling Stone magazine from the 90s. And it says, something about if you're going to pretend to be something, at least make it something you can actually pretend to be. Hang on, I want to find the actual quotation because I know it's so small.
And while she's looking for that, I'm actually a collage artist. I'll put my
Here it is.
Okay.
Sorry. If you're going to pretend to be something, he told Rolling Stone, then you have to at least live up to what it is.
So then from there we did the obvious, and I went back to my digital experience and added the collage. And then from there we were just focused on Elon for quite a bit. And then you took it.
Yeah, and so I weird materials. I have heat transfer pencils that I use to make patterns for stitching. So I made a drawing of Elon using heat transfer pencils and the pinata and the like I tend to do like using vellum and different images, do tracings and then make patterns from that. And so I just thought, well, I'll just do that as an ink print. And then I used stamps. So the idea of like, him using America as his private party pinata.
And we both thought his lips are very pink.
Yes.
It was a very important detail.
It's very pink lips.
And then her drawing reminded me of Butthead. So I went with that. And then my Jersey roots came out because I loved the eagle so much. I wanted it to be a Firebird on the Cybertruck.
Yeah, so when Kelly sent me her work that night, there was also a rendering of the national symbol eagle, which didn't actually make it into your piece.
No, I would send process of how I got places sometimes, which was fun.
But that combined with the Tesla stuff made me want to rework the eagle. So I don't know if you can see in one hand he has a cheeseburger, and in the other talon, not hand, he has a Diet Coke. And it says Tesla, Tesla, Uber alles. Also, there's a German of the 30s like screaming eagle that says Deutschland, Deutschland, Uber alles. So that influenced me as well.
And then sticking with the eagle, I was watching Friends of Big Bear Valley. I don't know if anybody's been watching the eagle. Would have been hatching. Oh my God.
Jackie and Shadow.
Oh, Jackie and Shadow. So that is Jackie. And we have lost an eaglet. But then the eggs kind of stuck for a while.
And right. So yeah, so eggs, obviously. I got inspired to go look at I looked up when eggs had been used as a political device and in political cartoons in the 1800s. And there's a lot. But I went with this one from around the Taft-Hartley Act time, obviously making it about what we're dealing with.
And then the price of eggs and how that how it affects everybody, not just one political base.
And I had been thinking about the contrast between the plummeting Tesla stock and the rising egg prices for weeks, just because how can you not?
And then eggs just led to chicken, and then the chicken. So then the chicken was the departure, and then the news of RFK. That was the day
that he
had a plan. He had a plan. And so this was my reaction to that plan.
Wow, okay, this is a really great drawing of RFK Jr. What am I doing? And so I looked up some of his more absurd statements on vaccinations and was like, oh yeah, I'll stitch that on a mask. Great, perfect.
So then, unsolicited advice and babies. And so that led to, and I worked for a while. I love word puzzles. I do a lot of writing and found poetry in my collage work. So it took me a minute, but I found out that the word contagious has the same amount of letters as copper tone. And so worked on, and my dad used to work in pharmaceutical and see-and-ski back in the 70s and 80s. So
oh my gosh.
I know, right? Amazing photos. So I was really kind of into these old vintage, like harmless advertising that turn it into propaganda.
Harmless. And then again, that's such an iconic imagery from my childhood as well, that I was like, oh, okay, vacation, the summer, the beach, copper tone.
My parents love cruises.
Cruises, exactly. And then I started thinking about the cruises during the pandemic and how they weren't allowed back onto shore, the ones that got like moored out there with the vaccine cruises. And then I was thinking like, Oh, this is totally something that RFK would propose. Like it's a great joint venture between the departments to both mass herd immunize, like natural herd immunization and deportation in one fell swoop.
And then I just gave into the dark side and just put it on the table. That actually is the third rendition because it wasn't dark enough. It wasn't black enough for me. And it just, the idea of the band playing on and then reading about it, and there's conjecture that that even happened. But Trump's not going to go down with this ship.
No.
And I know that there's going to be a rift between him and Elon at some point.
I hope that he goes down and the ship stays floating.
But what I did find, like, again, this was such an exploration of materials, because as a collage artist, I do a lot of traditional art, but sometimes when you focus on one medium, people forget that you can do other things. So in a really,
including ourselves.
Yes. So in a moment of frustration, my piece wasn't working. I just mixed a black from 3 primary colors, and it was so satisfying, like to just quickly whip up this really rich black. And I just was like, took a palette knife and was just like, and then that frustration became the base for that last piece.
Cool.
Awesome.
So thank you. Did we leave anything out? I mean, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we can talk more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think we have a few other artists here. But no, thank you. I mean, I love how, also Ellen has an Instagram account called Art and Bananas. And Kelly, like her latest piece is a political piece with bananas. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, it was just like the perfect thing. So it was awesome.
The theme of women resist really wasn't literal. It was more like, let's just say what we want to say.
Yeah, it's been interesting watching everyone else's work and seeing how much more female-based a lot of the works were.
Which is cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be outspoken. That's resistance.
But we are women resisting.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you both so much. I'm so glad to see this connection come out of it and all the work, and it's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you to the nice people saying nice things in the chat.
All right.
And Julie wasn't here when we dropped our information, so she's going to drop her Insta and website in the chat now.
Okay. And I'm going to save the chat so that way if you came in late, I will have it all saved and send it to everybody. So that way you'll have all the information. So, let's see. Who would like to go next and talk about whether your partner's here or not? You could talk about your work and the experience and
I can go next. It's very quick.
Okay.
Can you not see me? My hand was up and I'm waving and I'm doing everything from the beginning.
Sorry, Dallas. Your hand was up and then it went down and I'm sorry. Dallas and then Azal.
Dallas can go first.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm like me.
Yeah. And I couldn't see. You went off my screen. So I couldn't see you.
Okay. No worries. How do you pronounce her name? Ashwara?
Ashwara. I think Ashwara Vadula.
Okay, I know she's not here. She's in India, right?
Yeah.
So, time difference. But we got off to a late start because my partner dropped out, but we quickly got right on track. And there was a lot going on with me, so I asked, Christine if she could go first. She sent a lovely message to Christine, and I'm going to read it since she is not here. She says, I'm sending you our finished collaborative work. Here's a Google Drive, from the moment you presented this project, I felt a spark of inspiration. The opportunity to collaborate with another artist, especially a fellow woman, felt incredibly special. And note that we both have done this before. We, both call and response artists. It was a chance to create something that went beyond individual expression and become a shared story. Working with Dallas was a true joy. Thank you. Yeah. We felt the rhythm and shared language and a mutual respect for each other's artistic voices. It reminded me of something Georgia O'Keeffe once said, I found I could say things with color and shapes that I couldn't say any other way, things I had no words for. And I felt we truly found a unique visual language together. This project and your vision for it felt like a gift. In a world that often feels fragmented, you created a specific connection and creativity. Thank you for believing in us, for fostering this artistic community, and for reminding us of the power of collaboration. We hope you love what we've created. And for us, we did not correspond at all except through the images and the titles. So we did title all of ours. And it, if you saw the titles, you would realize, that it was a powerful conversation that was going back and forth between us. Titles such as Then Her, When She Leads, The Rhetoric Resistance, Aging Expectations, The Fertility of Being, so forth and so on. So I know you guys were talking about the titles before and the kinds of meanings that it had. And it was working with the collage because we had to play catch up, and we did. Yeah, don't worry about the title. That's okay. But I was just mentioning that people would kind of understand the conversation that was going on. So the first two, I just did a piece that I had already had, just so that we could kind of respond to each other. So that's why that one is the only one that's not a two-dimensional collage. It is actually a sculpture of one of my pieces titled When She Leads. But if you can see this and the conversations, it was so powerful, and I really enjoyed working with her. And the time difference was so weird. I would almost forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to look to see if she sent something because she's in India, and I would put there. She had a wonderful Google Drive, so all I had to do was just click it in, go into that to see whether or not she had, submitted something, and then I'd get to work on responding to her work. And it was such a joy doing this time, associating it with Women's History Month and the title itself. It was so powerful and so much fun to do. Thank you, Christine.
Awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I know, just seeing, all the work come together too. Every single collaboration, it just flows.
It does. It does. Those
Again,
conversations,
it's the process.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope
Thank
one
you.
day to meet her in person.
One day. All right. So let me see. Azam.
So, I don't know if I've done all of them, but I've done most of these call and responses. And every time I do them, it's like I try to grow with techniques and just kind of just let go and go with what comes up. So the first image, I was the one who did the call. And it was just like, oh no, I have to do this. It's I have to send her something and I don't have anything. So I went to what I've done before and I looked at what does this image represent? It was like taking a breath. As a woman, we need to have that time, and we are all talking about being busy. And so my first call was this landscape-ish representation that was open. And then she came back with what she did, and it became more about, me looking at it at what she had sent um, the night before. Like I would look at it before I go to bed and I would just let it be. And then I would wake up in the morning and I would respond. And it happened to become more videos from my end. And I would take what she had sent and would use that as a starting point and built on that. We had we didn't have any conversation. And even with the email, it was just like very, very limited. Oh, here it is. At some point, she didn't get my respond for 2 days, and I was getting worried. So I text her or emailed her, and that is when she found it and she responded. If you don't mind clicking on this one, it is basically at the end of what she had done, and I
Beautiful.
basically that's all I have. And I don't think she's here.
I don't think so. Yeah.
With this one, she did this, and then I took the petals and the words and made them into a movie or a video.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Azam.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
beautiful collaboration.
It is really, really, every time I do it, it is a point of growth and also connections. I've met several of the people who are on this call through call and response or through your programs. Thank you.
Yay, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, who would like to go next? Kimberly and Monica? Let's see. All right.
Good morning, Monica. Good morning, Christine.
Hey, good morning.
Sorry I was late, everybody. I'm still on standard time. Really, I don't wake up till 11. Okay, so it could have been political, but I didn't. I started and I just wanted, I guess, to talk about the women in my family and how strong they were and myself. And I try to be like, okay, irreverent and have a sense of humor. Like that's my mom in the middle and her two sister-in-laws. And they were really, really strong women. And I learned a lot from them. But I try to make them kind of snarky because from what I understand, okay, my mom never let me do anything, but that's because her and her sister-in-laws used to do a lot of shit. And my mom didn't want me kind of, I guess, being like her.
I love it.
And that's Monica's response.
So I did want to be political. So so you might notice there's a difference. Every other one is like, and then there's then there's me. I would take one thing out of something she had in there and then make it political. So it was kind of fun to pick, which thing am I going to pick out? It was going to be a word, or it was going to be an image, or it was going to be a theme. And also the thing I did very differently was, whenever I've done collage, I painted, I put some spray water on it and I let it sit, and then I put the acid-free glue and then I attach it. And this was like, I'm either going to just let it sit there, or if there's a breeze, I'm just going to use tape. And I wanted it to be, it's like this time feels so unsettled and I feel kind of unglued and not like attached to my foundation sometimes with everything going on in the world. So it was important for me to make everything not permanent and kind of transitory, and a gust of wind could blow it all away.
I love that.
Yeah, so like this one, nothing is attached. I didn't even use tape on this one. I just kept laying it down until it was how I wanted it, and then I took a picture of it.
Perfect. I think it's great.
I think being funny and being strong is political. Okay, for me. Because I worked in a library almost all my life, and we're pretty straight librarians. Well, people think we are. We're not. But I think being funny is a way of getting back a lot of times at men and at society. And I do watch a lot of female comedians because of the things they say, because being strong and being funny is political in my mind. It shows a strength that a lot of women don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you can get back at a lot of people through comedy.
That's true. I love
Yeah.
watching female comedians.
Yep.
100%. 100%.
Awesome. Well, very cool collaboration. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh,
You're
and
welcome.
that one of Shamu. Okay. I used that one on purpose because in the 70s when I was in high school, I went to SeaWorld. And actually, I have a photo of Shamu kissing me on the cheek. Okay. So when I went back a few years ago and I took a photo of Shamu, and I thought, oh, look at this. This is kind of funny. This is a different take on who I was in high school.
Yep. And I mean, orcas right now are also political. I don't remember, but we're going to have an installation for the Brewery Art Walk in the Closet, a political one, and the guy is making a zine called Orca. So it has to do with the yachts and stuff like that.
I think that's hysterical.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
and the reason I was so looking forward to this part is we didn't discuss things. We
No.
didn't, yeah, we just the way I like to do it, I like to communicate just through the art.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't wait to hear what you're gonna say.
Yep, exactly.
This is
Exactly.
awesome.
Adiola, you have your hand raised?
I do. This is so weird. I'm not sure what to call it. You know, when she was explaining and said Shamu SeaWorld, we were just driving past SeaWorld at that moment, at that point. And my
Really?
husband said Shamu. He was looking at us saying Shamu. And I'm like, who said Shamu? Did you say Shamu? She was just talking because I'm on the headphone. I just felt I needed to, chime in and let you know. I don't know what that is. It was on point at the same time. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
So,
funny.
well, SeaWorld, when you were talking about SeaWorld, like, okay. Of all the ones I've been listening to, we just got out driving, and yet you started talking, and you both said at the same time.
Wow, what is the universe saying here?
Exactly.
I don't know. I just,
Yep.
all right,
Is Shamu still alive?
Not the original one.
Oh, okay.
They have several different, and they rotate them.
Oh, okay.
So in the show, they call them all Shamu, but they're all in the tank. They all have different names.
Oh my gosh, Sea and Ski, Shamu. My childhood is coming back today.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
We'll talk about Marine Land.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
God.
I keep pictures of that on Vintage LA and stuff.
Yep.
Like I remember going as a kid. Yep.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
All right. Who would like to go next? I can't see everybody's hands, so if you can unmute. Has everybody gone that wants? Oh, Lisa.
Phyllis is here too.
I'm sorry.
This is Eva. Phyllis is here too, so we'll go later after.
I mean, there's not really anybody else, so.
Okay.
I mean, so far. Let's see. All right.
So I'll start first then. I really, really enjoyed not only the topic, but working with Phyllis. I'll just say I started this one first just because I just kept thinking of the words and I just wanted the freedom to blend out because it appears that we're losing our freedoms left and right. And Phyllis was phenomenal. She just kept responding to me. So we can look at the pieces and then I just saw a vagina in her piece. So I asked her permission if I could use the part of her piece. And I figured, stitching it up and doing it in red. And then she responded with the red and the hand. And I love hands. And then it just made me think of how we're objects. And it starts at a very, very young age for us women. And that was Phyllis's beautiful response with the bull. And then I just keep thinking of Trump saying he grabs women by the pussy. So I have the pussycat with his little penis. And then that was the cool response Phyllis gave. And we just kept the theme of the red. And then I just decided to dabble in AI. And then that's what I was able to finally evolve out of the Statue of Liberty, the red ribbon, and a baby Trump crying. And then Phyllis's piece with the Statue of Liberty. And then my daughter, I did because I wanted to do the red, and then and AOC kept saying in a speech of hers that we're all connected, we're all connected. And I was thinking, how can I push that forward about how, not just with us women, but we as humans, we are so damn connected and no one wants to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, obviously, we do as artists, and we do traditionally as women, but this whole MAGA movement has me really freaked out. So I really wanted to drive home that we're connected. This is a beautiful piece that Phyllis responded to. Or this is her piece, I'm sorry. And then again, I did away with the red ribbon, and I just went back to the words and just an image, and that's my two daughters and my hands again. Were 17, 21, and my age. And then that's the beautiful response that Phyllis had done. And she has to explain this one because it's really beautiful symbolism.
Well, yeah, this one in particular, I really loved the image of the three hands together. It was very beautiful, and I wanted to keep that. And so I put that at the center of a triskeleia, or if I'm saying it right, so that triple spiral symbol occurs in a lot of, I don't know, a lot of, people use it all around the world. Like it's carved in stone in Ireland, so it's the official symbol of Ireland, and so on. So it's different kinds of triad ideas together. So I know that, early Christians used it for the Trinity, but in yoga it's Dharma, Karma, and Sangha, and it has lots of different meanings. And so I kept their three hands together that way. And on each one of the spirals, I put a leaf, so like an oak leaf. I think Eva, I could be wrong, but I think that was your hand. And so I put you for strength, and the ginkgo is for resilience, and the maple leaf is for change. And so that was the last piece, and wanted to just kind of hold on to the three hands together, there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyway, and so it was interesting because, Eva obviously is, I've said this as a joke about myself, but I think it's really true. And it made me feel like this coming through here is like, I kind of live like I'm in the 1830s all the time. I don't know how to do anything like the quick. I'm not quick, and so it was really fun thinking of the ideas and the responses and so on. And, and I just really enjoyed bouncing off of, Eva's like really flexibility with putting things together quickly, and, always giving me a strong idea to come back from. So I don't know. I enjoyed how, like, right after My Body, when her second image, we developed this red line, and that carries a lot of symbolism for like what's on limits, and what's, what can be tied together, what can be different things that you could do with a rope or a cord or whatever. So for my response to, like, for her, she was protesting this girl being made an object, I made it into object, and it's supposed to be a cane toad, so it's like this horrible invading nasty Trump cane toad. I tried to make it look like Trump and tie up his tongue for his tie. So we just, I enjoyed doing that. And with her first photograph of her daughter, there's just the way her daughter is looking at her, and the beautiful look of the obvious love that she has for her daughter, and the way the photograph was taken. I'm a mom too, and I was a teacher of very young children, and I'm the mother of queer and trans kids. And so I just sort of like that, everybody, all the kids need that love, and so, my piece came out of that, or responded to that.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you both so much. And, and I love, like, for you, and I'm sure like Ellen and Kelly also, who whose work takes a while to do, this
Yeah.
is a challenge.
Yeah, I ain't fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of it too. It's like,
Yeah.
it is a challenge, which is a good thing.
Yeah. It was. It was. I can
Yep.
think fast, but I can't draw fast. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, powerful. Like them all, powerful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see.
We go now?
Oh yeah, Kathleen, sure.
Yeah, and Becky's here. Becky.
I am.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you in person.
I know.
On a screen.
Yeah. Actual voices. Okay, so yeah. I just want to first of all say I'm sorry about the photographs. They could have been better, but anyway, I this is the very first one that I've done. In fact, it's the very first thing I I was I got my MFA in 2019, and this is the first thing that I've really done publicly since then. And so this is like such a joy. I make art every single day because I'm a high school art teacher, and I send them out and say, "You got to show your work," and then I kind of so this was such a joy. I had so much fun with Beck and with her pieces, and she would I would send her one and go, "Oh, I don't know what she's going to think," and then she would send something back that was just even crazier or just out there, and I just had so much fun with this. It was like a breath of fresh air. It was just so much fun. And being able to not have to worry about who was going to get upset about it. I felt free to just express my own art and not worry about, oh, the district's not going to like this one, It was, so, yeah.
So cool. Beck, did you want to chime in?
Yes. So, it was interesting in the instructions when you said something to the effect of 24 hours because maybe we would learn something about ourselves with our art practice. It was very interesting because Kathleen was so prompt. She got this to me the first day at like 5:30 in the morning. And there was this beautiful piece that was well thought out with, so if you go to the first piece, oh, and I love the Statue of Liberty one so much. But so the first piece, the very first piece, I get this piece and it has so many things in it that all of a sudden I was on fire with ideas. And so I did fire as my first thing because I was so inspired. And also, I took it so literally. I was getting all of these ideas and thinking, oh, I could go all these directions and writing myself notes and stuff, and didn't go those directions because in response to the next thing that I had no idea was coming. So it was all a very exciting thing for my art practice. And because she was so prompt, then before I went to work every morning that my thing was due, I was getting up so early so I could be right on time. So it was exactly 24 hours. And this was really good for my art practice because how much time have I been wasting, streaming Netflix BS and when I could have something in my hand that I'm fiddling with. And the three-dimensional things, I did that right next to my husband the night before because I knew I couldn't pull it off if I didn't do it the night before and that next morning and then hurry off to work again. But yeah, very, very exciting to find out that how much I can actually get done.
Yeah, and I kind of got,
oh no, go please.
I was just going to say, I kind of cheated because, I felt like I was cheating because we had spring break that week. So I actually got to make art that I liked,
I love that.
And what was so great is the day that we were supposed to bring it back, or turn it in, was actually my birthday, and it was my Beatles birthday, or at least that's what I've been calling it, because I was turning 64. And that whole will you still need me, will you still feed me when I'm 64? I felt like the whole world was saying to me no. And so it was like, that's not true. That's not true. I had to go, because, I'm sorry, dealing with teenagers, it can be the biggest buzzkill for living. I mean, really, when you go to work and you have like these, they're just budding and they're just becoming little roses, and they're like, aren't you going to go somewhere? Aren't you supposed to retire? It's like, this is what I have to say to you, And so, sorry.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
and then on top of that, I live with two guys that I absolutely love, my partner and my son, but there's a lot of estrogen that needs to be builds up here. And so this was a really fun way. And I was talking about all these women artists in my classroom, and I'd have these teenager boys, like, picking their noses and going, oh, why do we have to do this? Why do you have to learn about women artists? And so, I doubled down and I bought Gorilla Girls stuff. And I was like, and it was so great because I had one of my um, another teacher who works, he works in special ed, but he did this whole collaboration to women, and it's like, oh gosh, I've got to send him the show because he's going to be so excited to see it, because he was the one person on campus who took pictures of women and girls all over campus, and made these things where he would have his sped kids um, uh, print them out. He'd put them in like this illustrator. And anyway, I'm getting off subject, but it was it was such a wonderful birthday gift to be
Oh,
able to do this, because and I was able to give homage to people who have influenced me as an artist. I was able to make pictures of some of the women who keep me going, even though they're in my life, like my daughters. And the one of the last ones there has I have three daughters and two granddaughters and a sister-in-law and some dear friends, and one my bestie who passed away last. And it was really neat, and I really connected with Beck. I loved her. I love. I have so many paintings that I've done of okay, now I'm having a brain block, but of Justice
Ginsburg.
Yes, thank you. I think Justice Ginsburg, and then I think of this tubby old man, and I'm like, no, 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 the good one. Not that it was wrong, anything wrong with the other one, but anyway, yes, uh, yeah, and I have my hallway has all these paintings. Then anyway, I'm just babbling, but I just really, really enjoyed this, and then to see like the actual show was just like so so important to me as an artist and as a woman and as a human being.
It made me feel less alone.
Yeah.
Good. And that's definitely a hope, and that's what happened during the pandemic too.
Yeah.
Is that's why I did it. So we would feel less alone. Yep. And we need it now. That's why I brought it back, because we need it now. Yeah, we're working and stuff, but a lot of people feel alone with everything going on. So, yeah, I'm so glad. Well, thank you both so much. It's a wonderful, a powerful collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Lisa, did you want to go next?
Yes. Give me a second. I'm not good at talking to like groups of people, so I'm super awkward and weird, so bear with me.
Okay, no
Um,
problem.
I'm gonna read Amy's statement first, since Amy is not here. Um, Amy said, I like collaborating with others. I had signed up to do the last call and response, but it had been canceled. When this one popped up, and with the title of Women Resist, I knew it was time to participate. My partner and I had an authentic, immediate response to each other's art, and we worked in whatever medium we had at hand. It was not difficult to let go and just make a few simple lines on a canvas or make collages. I made lots of fun pieces that I may not have otherwise done, and just as important, it was a great break to take in the midst of the day whenever I found time or remembered it was my turn to make art. So I did primarily the paper collages, like the images, and a couple of the drawings. And Amy was more the painting and like the fabric and canvas. Um, and so I started us off, and I really came in strong, and um, I put light the fires of resistance, and I have an image of a white lady from like the 80s within a fire because um I really wanted to, for me, start the conversation about like lighting the fires under the asses of white women, because a lot of us, we do recognize that things aren't right and we need to change, but a lot of us have that fear and a lot of reliance on the patriarchy as white women. So like, just I started us off strong. Um, and Amy had responded in kind. She really, um, I guess, resonated with the fire theme that I had started with. Her second piece with the reds, oranges, and yellows, and then the little textures that she had of the fabric pieces that she put on there. But she labeled hers leaves. My third piece, I actually was very late, so that one was very um, drawn in a very short amount of time, but the title is really what stuck with me. And for me, hands resemble tree branches, so that's kind of the direction I went with that one. And so then Amy, of course, went with the hand motif and the waving hand of hi, friend. So that one is actually the beginning of the piece. And then she uses the same piece finished as a response a couple pieces down. Um, then in my collage, um, I had a lot of hands as well, just as I got a lot of magazines from where I work. And there were just so many images of hands in there. So I'm like, this is perfect. Um, and then, of course, she went with the direction of hand, finishing out that piece with the um, amazing textures and just the deep contrast between the red and the blacks. Um, and so I kind of just went with the textured, but also still sticking with collages. So the woman shape is actually just a bunch of images from art magazines that I was given. And I tried to look for like high contrast, high texture, um, and then still maintaining that these are works of art that people have made within the shape of a woman. Um, Amy responded with a lot of texture, even more texture. She used the paper that she made herself on a canvas, which I loved that she had made that paper. And so for me, I responded with the green against, again, with the collage. This one turned out a bit more scrapbooky than I had hoped. Um, but I mean, I still like it. I still like it a lot. And so this was the first, or the No, this one is the next one is of a tree. Amy said that she had to go somewhere and she said she knocked this one out really quick, but I loved the amount of detail that she was still able to put into it. Um, and I just love I love trees, evidently. I can't draw them to save my life, but for me, I wanted to draw a tree woman in response to that one. Um, and so then, of course, she went back to the green, back to her paper that she had made herself. But this one is a lot less, um, I don't know the word. It's a bit toned down from the previous one that she had made with the green paint. But for me, I wanted to I wanted to use green, but also like reds and oranges as a sort of um color, what's it called? Not complementary colors, but like contrasting colors, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Um, and I wanted to kind of just bring that green in, but also have the contrast. And she really latched onto that image of the woman that I had used diving like as a cannonball into the pool. She said she really liked that and just used a lot of like greens and blues in her fiber or her fabric piece. And I felt like it overall, we started off with fire and then kind of ashes and then getting back into green, growing life. So it was really cool to see our conversation just kind of evolve and change. And I had a lot of fun with this one. I was excited. I saw the email by chance before the deadline was due for signing up, and I saw Women Resist, and I'm like, I have to do this one. I have to do it.
yay.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun, and it was awesome. And I feel like I've done one call and response. It was a few years back, I think with Azam. I don't know if she remembers me or not, but
Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Um, and so I had just moved back in January and have kind of been in a weird place stability wise. And so I needed an outlet for creativity and it just aligned really well. And I I had left my art supplies. They haven't moved with me yet because I'm moving from Oklahoma to Minnesota. So it's a bit of a trek. But yeah, it was nice to think on my feet with the supplies that I wasn't quite used to having like as little of. I'm used to having so many more like paints and drawing supplies, and I have a whole horde of collage images. So like it was interesting to just use what I had, which was very minimal, and um, yeah, no, it was really good and really fun. And
Oh, good.
yeah, I'm glad you brought up the disability one because I would love to join that one. That one
Good.
would be very good for me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep an eye out. I'll send an email and stuff. So, yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so
You.
much, Lisa. And thank you for reading Amy's statement too. All right. Anybody else?
Lisa, I just went back and looked at because I saved every one of these collaborations on my computer, and I'm looking at what we did together. Yes, I remember.
Yay.
Okay. I had a lot of fun with you on that one too.
Yeah.
And I've kind of shifted because that one I did more digital art alongside you. But this one I just really wanted to make collages. That's what I've been into for the past few years. So maybe we can team up again in the future. That would be fun.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. All right. Did I get everybody? I just want to make sure. Um, Sue and Stacy, did you want to?
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
yeah, I'll talk about
Okay.
Mars. Victoria's not here, but I'll
Okay.
so yeah, Victoria started us off with this with the painting with the photograph of Venus in the bar. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, funny idea. So I got to pull back some of my photos that I took when we were in Paris. And I responded with that. I liked the idea of using these classical sculptures. So that was my digital collage that I did as a response. So I put the winged Venus in there. And then she responded with this one. And so we kind of were playing around with classical figures, you know, Greek and Roman sculptures. And so I was doing my own collages, and then she sent me this one, and it just made me feel like I wanted to, I started collaging on top of her pieces. So yeah, I thought of this when I saw that, I thought of that tree. And then she sent me this one, just really like haunting. And it kind of felt like Medusa back there.
Yes.
So I added her I brought her to the forefront. So yeah, it was more of we also didn't have any conversations really. We did actually, I had an opening, I had a solo show, and since we're in the same town, she came to my show, and so I got to meet her.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, and so I was just having fun playing with her photos that she was sending me, because she just does photos. She's like, I'm not a real art. She was trying to tell me like I just take pictures and I'm not that much of an artist, but it was kind of fun to do digital collages, and it's just a nice. I think like a lot of echoing a lot of what a lot of people were saying. It's just nice to have this moment, just to take a moment out of every day, because you get so caught up in the day in life and super busy. And so um it was just lovely to have this moment just to play and have fun.
Oh, good.
Um yeah, like this one. I thought she needed some goddesses around her.
Yeah,
Some
which is
you do
perfect because it
goddess.
brings you back to the beginning.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so ours kind of became goddess, so it started and ended with goddesses.
Oh, that's
And then
awesome. And
yeah.
Victoria is Bee's mom, I think. And Bee, they both participate.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is really
So
cool.
yeah, it was really fun to go, and it was nice because we did that same thing where we just didn't really talk about anything. She just sent me something and I responded to it, and then we didn't really, except for the time when we met in person, but other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Yeah, which is
yeah.
a challenge in itself also, because you
Mhm.
don't know. I mean, and that's the thing about call and response is like whatever you're gonna get, it may not fit, ideas that
Mhm.
you have in your head. And so you have to come up with something that you totally didn't think about. And so I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool. Thank you
No.
so much,
Yeah, it was
Stacy.
fun. No, thank you. Phil, thank you for putting this together.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm glad we got to recharge
I know,
it.
exactly. And you started it. I mean, you and Adiola, you
Yep.
like the idea, as soon as you started
Mhm.
talking, and I'm like, okay, I need to bring it back.
Yes. So
That's
no, and
awesome.
it was totally fun.
Yeah. All right. Did everybody go? I want to make sure. I feel like maybe. Cool. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to stop sharing. Save the chat, but I'll also save it and send it to everybody. And when you get it, and I'll put the links in the email too, the link to sign up for the next one, which is changing the climate. Um, and it's really interesting. And I didn't think about this until after I put this call out for Women Resist. I'm like, first of all, like somebody pointed out, no men signed up. Um, and um, for changing the climate, that could also mean many different things. So, you know, I mean, I think most people will probably take it as climate change, the environment and stuff. And somebody actually emailed me and said, I don't believe in climate change. And I'm like, well, maybe this isn't for you. So, and that's okay. That's totally okay. So, it's, we're living in that time where, that's why we need to keep doing what we're doing, right?
Like you said, it can be anything climate,
Yeah.
climate of a marriage, climate of your, household or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think a lot of people who don't believe in climate change are like not my age. I'm 70. I've seen it. I mean, I have really, really seen it. From like, excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll talk about that next time. And Ellen and Kelly, I love that you're having a party over there.
No, it just turned my spa. I'm going to have a massage tomorrow before that opening at the
Lucky you.
Oh, good. Oh.
So, anyways, I remember when I was a kid, it rained from the second week in October all the way through March and April. And we had snow back on those mountains up in the Angeles Crest Highway, San Bernardino Mountains until June and July. You could see the snow. And now we have hardly no rain. So people can't tell me because I've seen it. I've lived through it.
I always say, I just think that we're really lucky there is no climate change, because imagine how much worse it would be if there was.
Yep.
Don't do that to me.
All righty, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. Sign up for the next one, and keep the following one in mind. And if you have a topic for after that, something that we need to cover, let me know and I'll keep it in mind. So, and tell your friends. We had 44 people sign up, 46, something like that. And when we were doing it during the pandemic, at one point we had 108 something.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean it was new. There wasn't a lot of time to sign up, but yeah. So, I mean I'm glad it's back. It's good to see all of you. And
thank you, Christine, for everything you're doing.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Thank
I
you.
put this on all my Facebook groups I'm in and on my artist page. And I emailed this to a lot of female artists.
Oh, good.
I know. So hopefully they'll join in.
Awesome. Awesome.
I just wanted to say thank you, Christine, and also thank you to everyone who participated. I really enjoyed hearing and seeing about your works today.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. This is how we resist. We may not be a Tesla today, but we're here. We do what we can.
Thank God.
I know. And tomorrow, if you're in the area, Stacy Berkey Green will be here, and we have the potluck, brunch potluck at noon at my space here at Shoebox.
Okay.
Yes, Phyllis, come by.
No, okay, no, I conflated the 2 days. I was just thinking I'm not going to be able to be at this potluck. Anyway.
All righty, everybody.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest
Bye.
of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.